Harry was 22 when his parents hired a new maid. Her name was Mira, a young woman barely 19, with soft brown skin and eyes that carried both innocence and resilience. She came from a struggling family and took the job to support her siblings back home. Harry wasn't supposed to notice her. His parents always reminded him, help is help, nothing more. But Mira had a presence that made silence feel like music. He caught himself listening to her humming gospel songs while she mopped the floors or the way her laughter softened the edges of the house. One evening, Harry helped her carry groceries in. Their hands brushed, and Myra's cheeks warmed. She whispered, "Thank you, sir." "Don't call me sir," Harry said, smiling. "I'm Harry." From that day, a quiet friendship began. At first, their conversations were simple, about school, chores, and the weather. But slowly, Harry began to linger in the kitchen when she cooked, asking about her favorite meals. She spoke of dreams bigger than the apron she wore, dreams of becoming a nurse, of giving her family a better life. One night, he found her crying softly on the back porch. "What's wrong?" he asked. "My younger brother is sick," she admitted, wiping her tears. "The hospital bills, they're too much." Harry reached for her hand, gently. "We'll figure it out." Mira looked at him with wide, searching eyes. That was the night Harry realized he wasn't just drawn to her kindness. He was falling in love. His parents noticed the change quickly. His mother frowned when Harry offered to help Mira wash dishes. His father's eyes narrowed when Harry laughed too freely at her jokes. One evening, over dinner, his father's voice cut sharp across the table. "Harry, we didn't send you to college to come back and chase after a maid." His mother added, "Do you want to throw away your future? You'll marry someone from a good family, with dignity and wealth, not a girl who scrubs floors." Harry clenched his jaw. "What if I love her?" His father's hand slammed the table. "Then you will learn to stop." Mira, standing nearby with a tray, froze. Tears filled her eyes, but she quickly turned away. Mira tried to keep her distance after overhearing Harry's parents. She avoided eye contact, spoke only when necessary, and kept her head bowed while working. But Harry couldn't ignore her silence. One night, when the house had grown quiet, Harry slipped out to the servants' quarters at the back of the compound. He knocked gently on her door. "Mira, it's me," he whispered. Her voice trembled. "You shouldn't be here." "I don't care," he said firmly. "I can't pretend anymore. I love you." Myra's eyes welled up. "And what will love give us, Harry? Your parents hate me. They'll throw me out. Then I'll leave with you," he promised. Mira shook her head, fear and longing at war in her eyes. "Don't say things you can't do." But Harry leaned in, and for the first time, they kissed, quick, trembling, but filled with unspoken truth. From that night, their love grew in secret. Harry would sneak her books from his library, and Mira would tuck notes inside his jacket pocket when she did laundry. They met in hidden corners, hearts racing with both joy and fear. But the house was full of eyes. One afternoon, Harry's cousin Brenda caught them sitting too close under the mango tree. Brenda smirked. "So this is why you've been ignoring Angela's calls?" Harry stiffened. "Brenda, please." But she was already rushing to tell his mother. By evening, Mira was summoned. Harry's mother's voice was ice. "We brought you here to clean, not to tempt my son." Mira fell to her knees. "I never meant." "Pack your things tonight," his mother commanded. Harry stormed in. "No. If she goes, I go too." His father's voice thundered from behind him. "Harry, don't test me." Despite his protests, Mira was sent away. Harry watched helplessly as she left the compound, clutching a small bag. She didn't look back, though he stood at the gate, his chest tight with pain. 4 days, Harry refused to eat. He skipped work, locked himself in his room, and ignored his parents' attempts at reconciliation. His father warned, "This is just infatuation. You'll forget her." But Harry couldn't. One evening, he went to her neighborhood, searching the crowded streets until he found her small rented room. Mira opened the door, shock flashing across her face. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, glancing at curious neighbors. "I told you," Harry said, his voice breaking. "I can't live without you." Mira hesitated, then pulled him inside. "Do you realize what you're risking?" "I don't care anymore," he said. And once again, the forbidden love burned brighter in the shadows. Their secret meetings couldn't last forever. One night, Harry's father followed him after growing suspicious of his late outings. He parked his car near Myra's street and watched as Harry entered her room. By the next morning, chaos erupted. Harry was dragged home by his father, beaten with words sharper than any whip. "You are a disgrace to this family. Do you want to ruin our name in the community?" His mother wept. "We had plans for you, Harry. A big wedding, a powerful alliance. And you choose a maid." Harry stood firm, his lips bleeding from biting back tears. "I choose her, no matter what you say." His father's face turned red with fury. "Then you are no son of mine." And with those words, Harry was thrown out, his clothes in a bag, his inheritance cut off, his name struck from family plans. The night Harry was thrown out, the sky opened with rain. He carried his bag through the dark streets, soaked to the bone. Friends he once thought he could rely on turned him away, afraid of his father's influence. By midnight, he found himself at Myra's door again, shivering. She opened it, gasped, and pulled him inside. "Harry, what happened?" "They disowned me," he whispered, his voice hoarse. "I chose you, and they cast me out." Myra's hands trembled as she dried his face with a towel. "Why would you give up everything for me?" "Because you are everything," he answered, looking straight into her eyes. Her heart ached, torn between love and fear. "Harry, this life will not be easy." "Then we'll suffer together," he said, gripping her hand. "And one day, we'll rise together." Life outside his family's mansion was harsh. Harry took a job at a construction site, his soft hands blistering under the weight of cement bags. Mira worked longer hours at a local laundry to make ends meet. Their room was small, with peeling walls and a leaky roof, but laughter filled it when they shared bowls of rice by candlelight. At night, Mira would rub ointment on Harry's sore palms. "You were not made for this," she whispered. He smiled faintly. "Maybe I wasn't, but love makes a man endure anything." Neighbors gossiped, some mocking Harry for choosing a maid over wealth, while others admired his courage. But as bills piled up and debts threatened, even Mira sometimes wept in secret, wondering if their love could truly survive the storm. Months passed, and Harry's father grew restless. His business rivals mocked him, whispering that his son had brought shame to the family. Desperate to break Harry, he sent a messenger. "If you leave Mira and come home," the messenger said, "your father will forgive you. The business will be yours again." Harry's jaw tightened. "Tell him I'd rather dig graves with Mira than live in a palace without her." When the message returned, his father's fury deepened. "He will regret this choice. If love is all he wants, let love feed him." Mira overheard this news, her heart heavy. That night, she told Harry, "What if leaving me is the only way to save yourself?" He took her face in his hands. "Mira, don't ever say that again. Without you, I'm nothing." The struggle became unbearable when Mira fell sick. Weeks of exhaustion and fainting spells left her bedridden. Harry spent his last savings on medicine, but it wasn't enough. The doctor shook his head. "She needs proper treatment at a hospital." Harry begged former friends for help, but they turned him away. He even swallowed his pride and went to his parents' gate. The security guards refused to let him in. On the third night, as Mira coughed weakly beside him, Harry broke down. God, don't take her from me. Punish me, but not her. Please. Mira reached for his hand. Don't cry, Harry. You've given me more love in months than most women receive in a lifetime. If this is my end, I'm grateful. No, Harry whispered fiercely, tears streaming. This is not the end. I'll fight until my last breath for you. Word of Myra's sickness spread, reaching the ears of an old family friend, Aunt Loretta. Unlike Harry's parents, she believed in love over status. She visited their small room, carrying food and medicine. You too remind me of my own youth, she said gently. I too loved a man my family rejected. We suffered, but we built our own happiness. Don't give up. With her help, Mira slowly regained strength. Harry found better work with Loretta's connections, and together, they started rebuilding their lives. But the battle with his parents was far from over. His father, furious at Loretta's support, swore, if Harry dares to marry that girl, he will never step foot in this family again, not even in death. Harry heard the words and squared his shoulders. Then I will build a new family, with Mira. Harry and Mira began to whisper about marriage. Not in churches filled with flowers, but in hushed voices under the leaking roof of their rented room. I don't need a big wedding, Mira said one night, her head resting on Harry's chest. Just you, standing beside me, promising we'll face life together. Harry kissed her forehead. You'll have more than that. One day, I'll give you the wedding you deserve. But for now, I just want to make you my wife. They decided to keep it a secret. A small courthouse ceremony, with only Aunt Loretta as witness. Mira wept when the judge pronounced them husband and wife. Harry held her hands tightly and whispered, no matter what happens, you are mine, and I am yours. But even secrets have a way of reaching the wrong ears. News of their quiet union leaked when Brenda, the cousin who once caught them, overheard Mira confiding in a neighbor. Brenda rushed to Harry's parents with the news. The next morning, Myra's workplace was raided. Her boss, pressured by Harry's father, fired her on the spot. I can't keep you here anymore, he said apologetically. Mira walked home in tears, clutching her last paycheck. When Harry found out, he was livid. They think they can destroy us by taking everything. But they don't know, love makes us unbreakable. Still, fear crept into Myra's heart. Harry, how long can we keep fighting them? What if one day they succeed? Harry clenched his fists. Then I'll make them see. If they won't give us respect, we'll take it. One Sunday afternoon, Harry marched into his parents' mansion uninvited. Security tried to block him, but he pushed past, storming into the living room where his parents entertained guests. Enough, he shouted, his voice trembling with rage. Mira is my wife. You can hate her, you can hate me, but nothing you do will separate us. Gasps filled the room. His father stood, his face dark with fury. Get out, Harry. You are no longer my son. Harry met his eyes, his voice steady now. You may deny me, but you cannot erase my choice. Mira is my family now. One day, you'll regret what you've done. His mother's voice cracked. You've ruined everything we planned for you. Everything. Harry turned away. No, Mother. I've chosen something greater than your plans. I've chosen love. Though Harry left that mansion with nothing but dignity, the confrontation lit a fire in him. He began working harder, saving every penny. Mira, though unemployed, started baking pastries to sell in the neighborhood. Together, they built a small life from scratch. Nights were still hard, but laughter often drowned the hunger. One evening, Mira asked softly, "Do you ever regret leaving your old life?" Harry looked at her, his heart steady. Never. I only regret not choosing you sooner. In that moment, Mira realized they were no longer just surviving, they were building a future. But the storm wasn't over. His father's influence stretched far, and the family wasn't ready to let go. Months later, Harry's father fell gravely. Rumors spread that he called for Harry on his hospital bed. Family members pleaded with Harry, "This is your chance. Go back, apologize, reclaim your place." Myra's eyes searched his. "Will you go?" Harry was torn. "I don't know if he wants forgiveness, or to trap me one last time." At the hospital, Harry's father lay weak, tubes running into his arms. His voice was frail but sharp. "Harry, I will give you everything back. The business, the wealth. But only if you annul that shameful marriage." The room went silent. Every family member leaned forward, waiting. Harry stepped closer, his heart pounding. He looked into his father's eyes and said, "I would rather be poor with Mira than rich without her." His father's face hardened. A single tear slid from his mother's cheek. The battle lines were drawn forever. Life after Harry's rejection of his father's deal grew even harder. His father cut him off from every family connection, warning business partners not to employ him. Doors that once opened easily slammed shut in his face. Mira noticed the toll. At night, she rubbed his aching shoulders after long days of hauling bricks at construction sites. Sometimes, she saw him staring blankly at the wall, lost in thought. "Talk to me," she whispered one evening. "I keep wondering if I failed you," Harry admitted. "If by choosing you, I've condemned us to suffering." Mira took his hand. "Harry, you gave me dignity. Even in hunger, I feel like a queen beside you. Don't let their wealth blind you to the treasure we already have." Her words rekindled his strength. But deep inside, Harry vowed, "I will rise, not for me, but for her." Months later, a new chance appeared. Aunt Loretta introduced Harry to a small cooperative that helped young men start businesses. Harry applied for a loan with nothing but determination and a detailed plan to start a delivery service using second-hand motorcycles. The committee hesitated. "You have no collateral, no experience." Harry straightened his back. "I have one thing most don't, fire in my bones. I'll work day and night until every cent is repaid." They gave him a small loan, almost out of pity. Harry and Mira rejoiced like children with candy. She helped paint the motorcycles, sew uniforms, and manage accounts. Within 6 months, their service spread across 3 neighborhoods. For the first time, Harry could look Mira in the eye and say, "We're not just surviving, we're winning." As Harry's delivery service grew, his name returned to conversations in the community. Former friends who once mocked him now praised his grit. Even newspapers featured a short piece, "Disowned Son Builds Business from Scratch." Mira glowed with pride. She too had started baking more pastries, and her small stand outside their shop drew steady customers. But with success came shadows. One evening, Brenda visited their office. Her smile was sly. "The family is watching you, Harry. They don't like what you're becoming without them." Harry narrowed his eyes. "Tell them I don't need their approval." Brenda leaned closer. "Father's health is failing. If you stay stubborn, don't expect to inherit anything." Mira, listening quietly, squeezed Harry's hand under the table. He looked at her, then at Brenda, and said firmly, "I've already inherited something greater, freedom." When Harry's father finally passed away, the funeral became a battlefield. The mansion gates opened for mourners, but when Harry arrived holding Myra's hand, whispers spread like wildfire. His mother confronted him at the entrance, her face pale with both grief and pride. "Why bring her here? Can't you let us mourn in peace?" Harry's voice was steady. "I came to honor my father, not to beg for anything. Mira is my wife, and she stands with me." Relatives muttered, some calling Mira a curse, others admiring her quiet strength. Inside, During the reading of the will, tension crackled. The lawyer announced, "The estate will be divided among the children, except Harry, who was disowned." Gasps echoed. Mira reached for his hand. He held her tighter, refusing to flinch. "I lost my father long before today," Harry whispered. "But I will not lose myself." The inheritance slipped from his hands, but Harry didn't bend. Instead, he doubled his efforts. Within 3 years, his delivery company expanded into logistics, hiring dozens of young men who once roamed the streets jobless. Myra's bakery grew into a cafe, warm with music and laughter. Customers loved her gentle spirit, and her name became known far beyond the neighborhood. One evening, Harry returned home, weary but smiling. He kissed Myra's forehead and said, "Do you realize we've built something greater than money? A family, a name, a legacy of our own." Myra's eyes sparkled with tears. "Yes, Harry. They tried to break us, but love became our foundation." And though the mansion's doors never opened for them again, Harry and Mira built doors of their own, doors that welcomed strangers, fed the hungry, and inspired the poor. Years later, when Harry's mother grew old and frail, whispers reached her of her son's success. Some relatives visited her, speaking with awe. "Your son, Harry, he has become a man of the people. His businesses employ hundreds. His wife Mira is loved everywhere." One rainy evening, she sent for him. Harry hesitated but finally went. Mira walked beside him, her head high. When his mother saw them, her eyes filled with tears. "I fought you. I called her unworthy, but look what you've done together. Forgive me." Mira stepped forward first, kneeling beside the old woman. "You don't need my forgiveness. You only need peace." Harry held his mother's trembling hand. "I forgive you, Mother. But know this, love is never a disgrace. It is the wealth that lasts." For the first time, his mother smiled at Mira with warmth. Harry and Myra's story spread beyond their community, a tale of love stronger than wealth, of defiance against prejudice, and of building a life from ashes. They raised children who grew up not in a mansion, but in a home filled with laughter, hard work, and faith. At family gatherings years later, when people asked Harry if he regretted anything, he would look at Mira and say, "I lost gold, but I gained a diamond." And Mira, with quiet pride, would add, "They called me a maid, but with love, we became kings and queens of our own story." Theirs was not just a love story. It was a legacy, born in fire, tested in storms, but shining brighter than any inheritance could ever buy.